Thursday night. We've got Dekaney visiting Fulshear, and this is the Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show. Time to visit with Anthony Williams, head coach of Dekaney, and tell me what you've seen from your team as you've been working out over these last couple of weeks.
Man, I've seen us growing, man. I've seen us go through a little trials and tribulations and that adversity, and we responded the right way. Great play by our offensive line, and guys are gelling together and playing the way we want them to play.
You got a guy in Kenyon Shelby. He's thrown passes. He's caught passes. Is he going to be under center when you send your offense out there the first time?
Now, we have a new quarterback, kid named Edward Panada. He's going to be special. He's one y'all need to watch, man. He's a good one. Ken is going to be playing wide receiver, corner. We'll put him everywhere. Let him be an athlete.
And I know one of his best friends on the team has to be Chizer. Chizer is such a productive running back. What is his style? How would you describe it?
Oh, man, he's a dual running back, man. He can get in between the tackles. He can get outside on the perimeter. He can block. He can catch. Great kid, man. But more than anything, he's a 4.5 GPA kid.
4.5 40 and 4.5 GPA. That's pretty good.
That's pretty
He might
good.
even be 4.4 on the 40.
Yeah, he's about 4.4 on the 40.
All right, so I just one question I want to ask you. It'll be weeks before you got to address this, but I know it's a great rivalry between the Westfield Mustangs and the Dekaney Wildcats, and you got something over them. You've got a state championship in your history, and they don't. Do you ever kind of remind them of that from time to time?
Nah, man. Today is all about force. We always preach go 1-0. We'll worry about Westfield when it's time to get to them, but right now the name of the game is go 1-0 tonight.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us, and good luck against Fulshear.
Thank you.
All right. That's Anthony Williams, and the Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show will continue in a moment. All right, welcome back to the Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show. We're breaking the seal on the season, and now Stephen Hill of Fulshear joins us, and this is your second year. And tell us about the meter on the optimism this year.
It's always good going in, getting the first year under your belt, kind of seeing what you're in for, and getting to come here for the second year. And the kids knowing my routine, kind of real optimistic this year. We got a new coaching staff. We got a real young team, so I'm looking forward to giving them the opportunity to hit somebody else tonight.
And it's almost eerie how many comparisons you could make with Dekaney. They and you both have 6 offensive starters returning. You both have 8 defensive starters returning. And you have a guy in Ryland Forks. He has caught passes. He has thrown passes. And they have a guy, Kenyon, I forgot his last name, but he also has been a quarterback and a receiver. So who's going to be taking snaps for you tonight?
Tonight we're going to have 3 different people taking snaps for us, but the main quarterback tonight will be sophomore Mason West. He's come in, had a real good camp. Ryland will obviously be back there some, and we're going to surprise a few people. We're going to put Jalen Collins, a running back there with the 3 running back set. So typical Coach Hill fashion, we throw the ball around, but you're going to see a little bit different team tonight where, one of the things that taught me at Randall is that defense wins championships. So this year we're going to have to rely on our defense a little bit more. Our offense is young, and we're looking forward to that. But Ryland's one of those guys. He's going to be doing a little bit of, we call him the Swiss Army knife. Yeah, so he does a little bit of everything for us.
And we're always talking about guys that handle the football. And you've got a guy, he's as good as it gets, Righteous Spencer. I will never lose that love and feeling for Righteous Spencer. He's such a big dude and such a hard worker. What can you tell us about him?
Ryland's come in this year and he's a completely different person. He's come in with a different attitude, a different work ethic. And I'm just real excited to see what this season has in store for him.
You didn't say anything about Righteous. Is he not on the team?
Righteous is the one I was talking about.
Okay.
Righteous is.
All right. I thought you said Ryland.
Yeah, Righteous.
My bad.
No, it's okay. Righteous has come in. He's obviously the leader of our offensive line. He's the anchor. So when we need some yardage, it's no secret. I don't care if the other team knows it. We're going to be going right behind him. And I think good things are in store for us this year.
And there are probably all these things considering, where he might want to go. But that's a good problem to have if a lot of really good programs are interested in having him play for them.
Yeah, offensive lineman is a commodity right now, and so he's just we're thankful that he's on our side and not someone else's side, and so keep the big man happy. We fed him real good today, and we're looking for big things from him.
Well, thank you, Stephen Hill. Good luck tonight, and I want to thank Kristen Cavallo, who is behind the camera. and she is doing this for us. She's the director of football operations. I thought maybe she could delegate that to someone, but she probably is a better videographer than anyone else.
Well, let me tell you this. It's the best hire I've made in a long time. She has made my job really easy, so I appreciate her being on our staff, and it's going to be a great year having her here with us.
All right, so you are the first home coach on the all-new Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show, and we'll kick off the game in just a few minutes. You see empty stands behind us, but this was recorded, about more than an hour before the game. So there'll be plenty of people here, and they'll all be fanning themselves and hydrating regularly. We'll be right back.
Cooper Muse is the center. The wide receivers, Ryland Forks, Trey Cluis, and Austin Bush. Running back Jalen Collins, but there will be some variation in the personnel. Jansen Darrell is the H-back or tight end, and Mason West will be the first quarterback to get his hands on the football, and the opening kickoff goes out of bounds. And Fulshear will be playing under a hot sun, and I guess that sun is going to be with us for another hour and a half at least. So Fulshear will be going from left to right. Jake Lewis is probably Fulshear's most reliable weapon. Last year, he had 48 passes caught, 884 yards, and 14 touchdowns. And he runs the 40 in 4.5, but he sure looks like he's faster than that to me. Righteous Spencer, whom we mentioned, he's the right tackle on offense, 6'4". And 325 pounds. He runs the 40 in 5.6 seconds, which is pretty good time for such a big dude. And he only allowed 3 quarterback sacks in the 2025 season. So we've got 2 receivers, one right, one left, no tight end, and they give it off to Collins, and he finds some daylight, squeezes through, and picks up about 4 yards out to the 34-yard line. Getting up off the top of the stack was Eddie Idemudia. Idemudia had 65 tackles last year and 4 sacks. And running right is Collins, and his mouthpiece flies out. He only gets back to the line of scrimmage. He might have pushed forward for a yard. And if so, then it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for Fulshear from the 35-yard line. I've heard a lot of different accounts as far as what the temperature is. And I hear it's 101, but the feels like is more like 108. I love the sun, but I'd kind of like for it to disappear right now. Mason West with 2 setbacks in the backfield. See if this will be his first forward pass. Going to hand it off. Collins hit in the backfield and buried. I'll tell you what, that guy is just as good as advertised. Eddie Idemudia. 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 So a 3 and out for Fulshear on their first series, and they'll send out the punter, Alejandro Quinones. And by the way, he was really impressing me in warm-ups with his place kicking. He was trying field goals from 59. He didn't make any of them, but he had the distance. He has a killer leg. Back to return is Trey Price. Quinones gets it away, but it's wobbly. It goes out of bounds right near midfield. We're in the Texan Hyundai broadcast booth. Glad to have you with us. Also, well, the fact that it's well over 98.6 degrees on the surface of our streets here in the greater Houston area is not exactly going to make you feel cool, but it is always cool to ride a Harley-Davidson. So go to Republic Harley-Davidson in Stafford. Check them out. United We Ride. So the new quarterback that Coach Anthony Williams was talking about is Edward Pineda. I think he called him a pinata, but you get the idea. 3-4 defense for Fulshear, and Pineda rolls out to the right, being chased. He's going to keep it, and he ends up getting about 4 yards. Hunting him down, Ojajuni Dieko, but you know I have a roster that says it's Ojajuni the first name, Dieko the last name. But in the list of starters, it says that his first name is Dieko. I'll try to get that straightened out. I might have to run down the hall and go into the home coach's booth. But it's only a pickup of 3 on that first play, 2nd down and 7. Vignetta hands it off straight ahead. And it's a pickup of about 3 yards for Christopher Chiser. Chiser with 850 rush yards last year. Caught passes for 390 more yards. Runs the 40 in 4.4. 3-7 last year for the Dekaney Wildcats. They were a 3-4 team, and it is tough to make the playoffs in their district that always includes their bitter rival, the Westfield Mustangs. 3rd down and 4 coming up. And because of the taxing heat, no doubt these teams are taking their time. And this is going to move the sticks. He gets it into the hands of Tylen Chevalier, the 6'1", 215-pound junior tight end. And that is our first down of the season here on VYPELCISD.com football. But you're way ahead of the game, as we always are on volleyball. We've had 3 volleyball broadcasts, 2 of them involving Fulshear. One, a win over Pearland Dawson, another one over the Fort Bend Travis Tigers. Vignetta looks left and right, takes the snap. Here comes the late rush and a fluttering pass that falls incomplete. Trying to get it to Kenyon Shelby, who threw a lot of passes last year. And right there on the defense for Fulshear, Liam Clay. By the way, here are your defensive starters. Nose guard for Fulshear, Nicholas Hernandez. The defensive ends, Tife Taiwo and Dieko Ojajuni, or Ojajuni Dieko. The linebackers, there are 4 of them. Mohamed Darwish, Blake Box, Oscar Perez, and Caden Dickey. They run the 3-4. The 2 safeties, Liam Clay and Daquan Quinn. And the quarterbacks, Jackson Drain and Faisal Arosai. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Vignetta with 2 receivers to the left side of the formation, but he rolls right, and he is pressured, and he somehow gets rid of the football. That was almost a sack as Dieko Ojajuni came in strong, and it's 3rd down and 10. It might be 4-down territory. I'm going to presume that Dekaney is just too far out for a field goal attempt, unless they have someone with as strong a leg as Alejandro Quinones. Vignetta drops back, steps up in the pocket, and he fires it deep down the middle on the post pattern, and it is off the hands of the intended receiver. He was trying to get it to Kenyon Shelby, but a great play. Faisal Arosai got his hand in there right at the last minute. And on 4th and 10, I thought they might go for it, but it appears that Dekaney is going to punt. It looks like the punter is number 35, but I don't have a number 35 on my roster. And they fake it. And then they punt it. And it lands inside the 5 and goes into the end zone. It was a short snap to Dequay Allen. and he ran up about 2 yards shy of the scrimmage line and then punted it away. And it ends up being good field position for Fulshear. So Fulshear will see if they got regrouped as they step back out onto the field. James Nolan is in as one of the wide receivers. He's on the near side, and in the slot to his left is Ryland Forks. And it is still Mason West quarterbacking for the Chargers. Collins, the setback next to him. In motion goes Trey Cluis. And they swing it out there to Cluis. He shakes a tackle in the backfield, slips another one, but then comes the onslaught of black jerseys. Jaqan Muhammad, 6'5", 215. He is just a prototype linebacker. He can really run, and he brought down Cluis for a 2-yard loss. Dekaney has had a 2-year playoff drought. They run the spread offense, as you've seen. They were state champs in 2010 under head coach Willie Amendola, whose son Danny won a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. West throws toward the sideline, and it's off target, trying to get it to James Nolan. So, let's see. I said 2010 was the year that Dekaney won their state football championship. It was actually 2011. They defeated Cibolo Steel 34-14 in the Class 5A Division II final. And Dekaney's rivals, Westfield, they made it to the state championship game only once back in 2004, but they lost to Tyler Lee. On 3rd down and 12, it's a screen pass to Collins. And he breaks one tackle, but not the second one. Maurice Grant came in to finish off the play, and it is going to be 3 and out for a second consecutive possession for Fulshear. And you heard in the Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show, Coach Stephen Hill knows that his defense is going to have to kind of hold the line until the offense catches up. Ray Price back to receive the punt of Quinones. Steamy hot day, 6:30 kickoff. But these guys are out there ignoring their discomfort. Fair catch called for and made at the 46-yard line. Just a 24-yard punt. So just about everything in this football game has happened to the left side of the 50-yard line. You know, one thing, I guess it makes perfect sense that Fulshear decided to wear the white uniforms, despite the fact that they're the home team. Home teams almost always wear the dark in Texas high school football, but with the sun being what it is, a dark colored jersey like what Dekaney is wearing absorbs more heat, so wearing a light colored clothing is always more comfortable under a blistering sun. There's the handoff to Chiser, and they eat him up. He tried to run right, and he found no room whatsoever. Tyrese Brown made the tackle. And they're really high on Tyrese Brown, just a sophomore, 6'2", 205. And he runs the 40 in 4.7 seconds. Imagine when he gets that down to about 4.4. He could play both defense and offense. 1-yard loss, 2nd down and 11. Yetta looks at his 3 receivers over on the right side of the formation, and we've got a whistle. Timeout is taken, and it's taken by Dekaney. We'll be back on VYPELCISD.com right after this. All right, well, they said there was going to be a timeout. The official signaled for one, but then they took the normal amount of time between plays, and a screen pass gets Dekaney a first down in Fulshear territory again as they advanced to that point on their first possession. So the new line of scrimmage is the 33 as Chiser picked up a critical first down. Both of these teams have 6 offensive starters returning this year and 8 defensive starters. Pineda gets rid of it quickly. And there is Shelby along the sideline, and he walks down the sideline close to the 20. He stepped out at the 25. So it's a pickup of 8. We can see that the shadows that are helping out people on the Fulshear bench are getting longer and longer. Pineda, play fake, rolls right, being chased. Gets rid of it and throws it behind his intended receiver, incomplete near the 10-yard line. That was Lucas Anquan, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2. These are two teams that if they just kept on winning football games, the only way that they could meet would be in the state finals. Because Dekaney plays in Region 2. Pineda stands strong, throws late, and it's over Shelby's head. Wow, Pineda got popped. And I believe the guy that got in on him and rocked his world was Jason Patel. And now we have a timeout with 3:39 left in the first quarter. Still no score. We'll return on VYPELCISD.com. In the Texan Hyundai broadcast booth, Roger Smith along with the silent partner Mia Vigil, Len DeSalvo inside the mothership at Vipe World headquarters. 4th and 2 for Dekaney. Fake to Chiser. Pineda throws deep, and he's got a man, and he's got a touchdown. Tylen Chevalier makes the touchdown catch, and it comes from 25 yards out. So it comes with 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the first quarter. And my apologies to the kicker for Dekaney. He wears number 35. I don't have a 35 on the roster, but the extra point is good. 7-0 Dekaney, and we'll be back here on VYPELCISD.com. You know what? At Texan Hyundai in Rosenberg, you get deals that are so right it almost feels wrong. And if you tell them that Roger sent you or mention VYPELCISD.com, you get $1,000 off. Pop-up kick comes down to the 26-yard line. James Nolan gathers it in. He had called for a fair catch, and then he took a couple of steps like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have called for a fair catch. So Pineda to Chevalier ends up with a touchdown, 7-0. Dekaney with 3:32 to go in this first quarter. A day like this makes you really appreciate the air specialist because you've got to have your air conditioning units working in good working order, and when you need help, call the air specialist. They will get the problem rectified very, very quickly. Well, I guess Maybe we're going to have another re-kick. I'm not sure why. Oh, boy. Now I know what's happened. Well, Mia, we can take a break. There's been a lightning strike. There's a weather delay. Everybody is leaving the field, and we are ready to rock. Actually, the scoreboard says 6-0. And Fulshear runs a little jet sweep, and they get something out of it. There goes Trey Cluis, who is so fast. And he ran toward the line to gain, and he got close. But unfortunately for the Chargers, he stepped out of bounds after he gained 5 yards. But he has sweet feet, no doubt about that. He may not smell all that good, but very quick. Somebody dropped a towel, and that somebody is the quarterback for Fulshear, Mason West. He's in the gun, sends a man in motion, that's Cluis, and hands it off to Collins, pops through, gets across the 35, 40 and more, and wrestled out of bounds short of midfield. In fact, he ran over a tackler as he went out of bounds, and that is a first down for you. And Fulshear, they're kind of walking around as if maybe there was a flag on the play, but I don't think so. But it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. 14-yard pickup on the gain up the middle by Collins. The receivers to the far left, and will Mason West throw the football right here? Jansen Darrell, the H-back, in motion. And I'm afraid they might have a delay of game right here. That's Gary Godwin, our referee. And I believe that's the first penalty we've had in this game. It's been played very cleanly, especially considering that it's the first game of the year. So the penalty makes it 1st down and 15 for the Chargers. They need to reach the 46-yard line of Dekaney. Dekaney showing blitz. Give to Collins around the edge. And he made up 4 of the 5 yards that they were penalized on. So that'll set up a 2nd down and 11 yards to go. And they shorted him a yard. It's actually going to be 2nd and 12 now. Cluis in the slot on the near side, and Austin Bush is the split receiver. And over on the left, it's Rylan Forks. Another blitz look. Rolling right is West. Looking down the field, going to keep it. And he slides as he gets to the 45, and we get a flag come in late. A late hit is going to be called on Eddie Idemudia. And it looks like Idemudia is also injured. I think he's going to be okay, but right now he's trotting over toward the sideline, but now he's saying, no, I'm not coming out of the game. I'm good. But it is going to be a 1st down for Fulshear. Idemudia is the guilty party, although Gary Godwin, our referee, did not name him. And Fulshear did not have a 1st down before we had the long weather delay. And they've made a couple of 1st downs on this drive, and a 3rd now that that personal foul penalty moves them all the way to the 38-yard line of Dekaney. Collins turns it up as he gets to the right tackle position, a short gain of a couple of yards. Michael Tellison wrapped him up for the Wildcats. And just in case you're joining us late, a few things about Dekaney. They're a 21st century school, put it that way. So they haven't been around all that long, but they did win a state championship in 2011, defeating Cibolo Steel 34-14 in the Class 5A D2 final. And Class 5A was the biggest classification at the time. And Westfield, their big rivals out of the spring ISD, made it to the state title game in '04, but they lost to Tyler Lee. Ryland Forks on the jet sweep, coming to right. And they spot him at the 32. So they're still going to need a long 3 yards on 3rd down. Willie Amendola, by the way, was the head coach of Dekaney when they won that 2011 state championship, and he's the father of Danny Amendola, the greatest Woodlands Highlander football player who ever lived. There goes Collins running left, and he only gets 1 of the 3 yards that he needed. And the ball's at the 30-yard line, and I noticed in warm-ups, which were such a long time ago, and I'll tell you something, Alejandro Quinones of Fulshear is certainly capable of making a field goal from there. It would be a 47-yarder, but I think they just want to see if they can pick up 2 yards and keep the drive alive. Down 6-0. It appeared to me that Dekaney had made their extra point, and I just kind of assumed that they had, but it's 6-0, not 7. And now they got a timeout taken. Ryland Forks, by the way, was ready to take the snap. And we'll step aside for a quick timeout on VYPE LC. One of our games, we're always going to have our banners up. Look for the teal-colored VYPELCISD.com banner. And you will see a QR code for the air specialist. Capture that, and you will be thrilled with what they do for you to keep your home systems running and everybody in your house comfortable. Mason West off his back foot. It's a 50-50 ball, and at the 11-yard line, it's an interception by Dekaney. Kenyon Shelby, correction. One of the officials, the back judge, comes in and says, no, the pass was incomplete. So if it only takes one official to overrule everyone else when they say pass was incomplete. So that's actually a break for Dekaney. I know Kenyon Shelby would like to have an interception, but it's better for Dekaney's, from Dekaney's perspective, to have the football at the 30-yard line as opposed to down there near their own 10. Well, the good news, even though Fulshear was not able to finish that drive with a score, the good news is that the Fulshear defense had that long weather delay to wait, and the offense kept the ball out of the Dekaney offense's hands for a long time. So Fulshear's defense is rested, and I'm sure they had a lot to talk about during that break. Here comes Chiser around the left side, and he picks up a 1st down. I like the pursuit, very good pursuit from Tyrese Brown, but not before a 10-yard pickup, and the sticks move. 21 seconds left in this first quarter, 6-0 Dekaney. I'm surprised that the clock isn't running. Play didn't go out of bounds. They've had the sticks set for several seconds. The clock should be running right now. Vignetta in the shotgun. Looks to the near sideline, now flushed over to the right. Flag comes in, long pass, falls incomplete. And with 15 seconds to go, we'll see what the flag's about. Barry Godwin indicates that it was holding against Dekaney. So I'm going to let you folks in on a little conversation. Mia, you didn't hear the official's call? Okay. I hear it in my headset. Mia's not hearing it in hers, but just in case you can hear it where you are at home or in your car, wherever you may be. I'm going to crank it up if the official turns on his mic. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Pineda pumps short, looks back to the left and just throws it away. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Fulshear on this very warm night, shuttling guys in and out. Josh Odunlami comes in and he replaced Nicolas Hernandez. By the way, if you've got some scrap metal in your home and you'd like to exchange it for cash, go to C&D Scrap Metal, our brand new sponsor. They have locations all over the greater Houston area. There's one that I use. It is on McCaskill Road near Kempner High School. Here we go, second down and 10. Pineda off his back foot, swings it out there and finds his very speedy receiver, Craig Jones, his first touch of the football. He gets across midfield and goes all the way down to the Fulshear 40 as the first quarter ends. We'll take a break. Chiser carried on the first play of the second quarter, but a flag came in, so it's going to negate what he picked up around the right end. By the way, I'm sure you've seen a Hyundai Palisade. It's one of the beautiful SUVs on the market. And you know, anytime you buy a new SUV, you get a lifetime warranty. Doesn't matter if it is gas-powered, hybrid, or all-electric. The Hyundai Palisade gets a lifetime warranty. Check out Texan Hyundai in Rosenberg, and they can show you one of those Palisades, and I think you're going to fall in love immediately, because they've got deals so right they almost feel wrong. First down and 20 after the holding penalty. Dekaney up 6-0. Fulshear still working to find its offense, and the defense is hanging in there, keeping it a one-score game. Pineda rolling to the right. The rush comes late. Fading away, he throws it and gets it to Kenyon Shelby. And that's a pickup of 8. You know, something I did find out during the long weather delay, I was able to determine that it is Diego Ojajuni. Ojajuni is his last name. But one thing I should have checked out and did not. Somebody for Fulshear is wearing 0, and I don't have anybody like that on my roster. Second down and 12 after the 8-yard pickup, empty backfield. Pineda steps up, throws over the middle off the hands of his intended receiver Craig Jones, who had a big pickup on the final play of the first quarter. Craig Jones runs 4.5 in the 40-yard dash. Third down and 12, and I think we're going to see Dekaney put the football in the air. But a good strategy might be to get it to Chris Chiser. He's the setback to Pineda's left. They might run a screen pass. 3-4 defensive front for Fulshear. Blitz off the edge, and a pass is incomplete. Almost intercepted. Reagan Dukes. Ball was a little bit behind him. He did get a good look at it. He's kind of beating himself on the head, but don't do that to yourself, Reagan. You got this. The Fulshear defense hanging in there. I'm sure they got plenty of electrolytes while they were in the locker room waiting out the weather delay. Drake Lewis back to receive the punt. He's standing at the 10-yard line. Low punt. Not much distance at all. It goes down to the 21-yard line, and that's all. Just a 21-yard punt. By the way, last year, I hope you Fulshear folks were aware that we went all the way to Temple to broadcast one of your games. It was a neutral site game, and it was Burleson Centennial, and Trey Cluis really had a coming out party in that game. I don't remember the exact score, but I believe that Fulshear scored at least 49 points. By the way, Fulshear has a running back in the game, Myron Parkinson. Have not seen him yet. He is to the right of, I think it is Ryland Forks, who's now in at quarterback. Quarterback draw, and it is Forks, and he's in the open. Gets across the 40, 45, and all the way into Dekaney territory to the 49-yard line. He is instant offense. There's no question about that. I pointed out prior to the game that Ryland Forks was capable of throwing and catching and running. He did a lot last year. 945 rush yards, caught 20 touchdown receptions, 235 receiving yards, 5 rushing TDs. So he can do a lot of things. They marked him at the 50. It's 1st and 10 from there. Forks fakes the handoff to the right, runs left, hurdles a tackler, and gets to about the 48. There when he came down was Kason Hurd. 2nd and 8. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go, and the clock ticking in the 2nd quarter. The Fulshear band, always entertaining, and man, I hope our folks out there can hear the band. We're definitely going to show you the band. Mia is not hearing the crowd audio. I am. I'm just hoping that you're hearing it. All right. Mason West back in there at quarterback, and he throws one over the middle, and he finds Cluis. And he's close to another 1st down. It depends on where they spot it. He's going to be a yard shy. 3rd and 1 coming up. And the clock stops as he went out of bounds. 9:44 to go in this 1st half. Tomorrow night, it's Foster here at Shearer Stadium, taking on Fort Bend Travis. Then on Saturday night, we'll have another game for you. That one on web radio, the historic 1st ever varsity game for the Tomas Gators as they take on George Ranch. West hands it off on the draw, and a 2-yard pickup, and good enough to move the sticks as he handed the ball to Collins. Stephen Hill, the Fulshear coach in his 2nd year. He went 7-4 last year, 5-1 in district. Their only loss that the Chargers had in district play was to Straight Jesuit and the great Johnny Abear. They lost in their by-district game to Cinco Ranch 47-21. Play fake and a nice little pop over the middle. He throws a dart, West does, and picks up the 1st down. Carrying it down to the 28-yard line. Forks. West ran over to the sideline, got the play call. Now Fulshear's offense is starting to click. There's a draw play, and Collins finding his way through traffic and fighting all the way down to the 23. Pickup of 6. Jakan Mohammed on the tackle. What a good-looking ball player he is, 6'5", 215. On 2nd down and 4. Collins goes up the middle again, and he picks up the 1st down to the 12. Mason Hurd bulldogged him, but that moves the sticks. And we have an injury on the play. And the Dekaney trainers are going to come out and help somebody. We'll take a quick break and be back. 6-0 Dekaney, but Fulshear is threatening. Davidson and Stafford as soon as you possibly can. 1st and 10 for Fulshear from the 17-yard line, trying to get on the board for the first time in 2026. Fuchs keeps it. There he goes, still moving across the 10. Puts his hand down to get a couple of extra yards. And he's down for a 1st and goal at the 8. Coming up from his corner position, Desmond Jones brought him down. We got another timeout with 7:14 to go in the half. Fulshear is they're on the threshold. Put it that way. We'll be right back. All right, just in time. Timing is perfect. Here we go, 2nd and 2. And it's a quarterback draw. Ryland forks up the middle, fighting toward the goal line. And he's in. Touchdown, Chargers. The first of the year, and we're tied at 6. Ryland forks from 9 yards out. All right, coming on to kick the extra point is the very talented Alejandro Quinones. Out of the hold of, I don't know who. Number 11, and I don't have an 11 on my Fulshear roster, so what are you going to do, huh? But the kick is good, and it's 7-6. Fulshear has the lead. Will be have taken the lead, 7-6. 7:05 to go in the first half. If you're wondering why it's 8:41 p.m. and we still haven't reached halftime, it's because we had a long weather delay. We had a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Looks like the Chargers might be bringing up a little hijinks here. Are they going to suddenly burst out of that muddle huddle and kick it? No. They run up to the ball and then they turn around and run back. And they probably yelled, "Psych!" to the Dekaney players. You see what kind of a leg Quinones has. He bombs it into the back of the end zone. So, maybe with that touchdown by the Chargers, the defense will be even more fired up than they have been. They've been playing good, solid football, giving up just the 25-yard pass from Pineda to Chevalier. By the way, a long time ago, there used to be a radio network called the Sporting News Radio. They were one of the first networks to go around the clock, and they had a guy named Papa Joe Chevalier. He was one of their personalities, and he would argue with this other guy whose name I think was Peter Brown. They would argue all the time. Very entertaining. All right, here we go. Pineda leads the Dekaney offense back onto the field and hands it off in the draw play. Not much there for Chiser. Chiser, just a sophomore, led the team in rushing last year. Since it's been such a long time since we started this football game, I think I'll give you the defensive starters for Fulshear. It doesn't necessarily mean they're the ones on the field right now, but the nose guard is Nicolas Hernandez, and the defensive ends are Tife Taiwo and Diego Ojajuni. More in a moment. 2nd down and 9. Blitz look from the left side. They give it to Chiser, and he is met face up. Caden Dickey jumps in there and says, "You're not going anywhere, Colonel." 4 linebackers in the 3-4 setup for Fulshear. Mohamed Darwish, Blake Box, Oscar Perez, and Caden Dickey, who just made that tackle. By the way, Blake Box, I talked to his grandparents coming into the stadium. They got here really early. The safeties, Liam Clay and Daquan Quinn, and the cornerbacks, Jackson Drain and Faziel Arosai. 3rd down and 10. That Fulshear defense has really clamped down on this series. Pineda rushed Throws to the sideline. He's got a man, but well short of the first down. He found Trey Price, who made a nice catch, but not much after that. Oscar Perez. I don't know if he got there first, but he was certainly involved in the tackle, and it's 4th down and 6. Greg Lewis, potential game breaker, standing back in his own 40 to receive the punt. Very short, but caught by Lewis, helping his team get good field position at the 46. You never really know where that ball would have bounced and how far it would have rolled, but could be that Trey Lewis might have saved his team 15 yards or even more. Tomorrow night, this same stadium will have Foster taking on Fort Bend Travis. Brand new coach for Travis. After many years, Trey Sissom retired. We did a podcast with him on VYPELCISD.com, so you can find it there. You can find it on our YouTube channel. You know what else? You can find a little time. 1st and 10 for the Chargers, whose offense has started to click. Forks hands it off to Collins. Goes over the right side and only picks up 1. Jakan Muhammad making another tackle. The guy's a beast. He kind of reminds me of Noriel Dominguez, who was with the Randall Lions last year. Just a killer linebacker. Still Forks at quarterback. Same play, but coming the other way, and Collins cannot escape the grasp of the tackler in his wake, Michael Tellison. No gain, 3rd down and 9. Collins, by the way, is split out as a receiver on the near side. I think his face mask is offside. He ought to be careful on that. Forks throws over to the left side and then back to Forks. This is going to work. He's got something inside the 30. Still going. 10-5 touchdown. It's a touchdown pass for Austin Bush, who took a backwards pass from Ryland Forks, threw it right back to him, and all the way home. 45 yards for a touchdown. So Forks has scored a running touchdown, and now he's got a receiving touchdown. Austin Bush. Threw it right on target. There was a blocking convoy out in front, and we've got a Fulshear lead of now 14-6 after the successful extra point. We'll be back after this from the air specialist. Quinones kicks it into the end zone again. A 45-yard pass from Austin Bush to Ryland Forks. 14-6, and we've got 3:52 to go in the second quarter. Well, you never know whether a game is going to turn on momentum because of something like a long weather delay. God only knows if Fulshear had been able to capture the momentum and take control of the game as they have without the weather delay. Here comes the best running back that they have, Christopher Chiser, runs out of bounds after gaining 10 and a first down. They usually say, wave the sticks on down the field. Oh, maybe he's got 9 yards. Okay, yeah. It's going to be 2nd and 1. There are just so many situations in Texas high school football when the officials just kind of eyeball it and say, yeah, he's pretty close. Move the sticks. I like to watch a measurement every once in a while. Pistol formation for Pineda and the Dekaney Wildcats. There goes Chiser running left. Stretch play, dives through a couple of would-be tacklers, and he picks up 4 yards, make it 5, and a first down at their own 39. 14-6, Fulshear over Dekaney. It's been all Chargers since they came out after that long weather delay. Under 3.5 minutes to go in the half. Dekaney is starting to get its offensive rhythm back. 3 receivers to the near side of the formation. Give to Chiser again. Breaks through and picks up 4 to his own 43-yard line. Right on top of it, the big defensive tackle, Nicholas Hernandez. Fulshear's got some good size up front with the defensive lineman. And with a night so warm as this, you got to give those guys plenty of time to recover. 2nd down and 6. They feed Chiser again. And he gets within 2 yards of the first down. 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd and 2. By the way, Fulshear fans, we will have your Week 2 game, which is a Saturday nighter at Fort Bend Bush. It'll be at Hall Stadium in Missouri City, and we'll have it for you on web radio. So you can see it on the radio. If I describe it well enough, you'll basically see it. Fulshear almost jumped, but they got back. No flag. There goes Chiser, and he picks up the first down. You know, I probably, during halftime, if I can find one of the Dekaney coaches, I ought to ask, is it Chizer? You know, C-H-I-Z-E-R. It might not be Chiser. But what I do know, I don't know, but I do know this. There's one family comfortable since 1970, and you probably saw that little QR code during that commercial. Anytime you're at one of the venues where we're broadcasting a game, look for our banners. They have the QR code, and you can capture it, and you'll get what you need. Great service from the air specialist. Long pass falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 coming up for Dekaney with 1:45 left in the half. We're going to treat you to the always wonderful band performance of the Fulshear Chargers. Dekaney, I guess they brought their band. I think they did. But I will say that we kind of have a technical thing where we're not sure if you are going to hear the Fulshear band. We certainly hope that you do. I can hear it in my headset, the natural sound from out there outside our window. There goes Chiser or Chizer. And he picks up 8. All the way down to the Fulshear 37, and 3rd down and 2 coming up. The clock is running. Dekaney has no more timeouts left. Fulshear has only 1. Pineda is huddling with his offensive mates, and they break the huddle with 1:12 to go. Play clock is at 13 right now. Hands it off again to his main man, Chris Chiser. Goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 59 seconds remaining, and it's 4th and 2. So this is decision time It is a one-score game at 14-6. Does Coach Anthony Williams want to kind of roll the dice, try to get that first down on 4th and 2, but if you don't, then Fulshear has it with pretty good field position, and they always have a lot in the bag of tricks of head coach Stephen Hill and his offensive coordinator Sean Anderson. So it's 4th and a long 2, 59 seconds to go. Pineda rolls left. Here comes the rush. He throws near the sideline, and he got his man at the 30-yard line. Kenyon Shelby wrestled out of bounds. No, he didn't hold on. He lost the football. The ball will go over. Incomplete. You got to survive the ground, as they say. And the guy who ran over there and knocked it out did not give up on the play, Faisal Arosai. He just kind of came in, maybe punched it out from behind, as the point of the ball sometimes is exposed between the elbow and the ribs. And here we go with 53 seconds left. Fulshear has a chance to put some more points on the board, and Mason West is behind center in the spread formation. He rolls to the right, looking way down the field, and throws a one-hopper incomplete, intended for Trey Cluis. So I hope, cross my fingers, I hope that you hear the Fulshear band warming up in the north end zone. I hope you're going to be able to hear their performance. If not, I guess you'll just have to, it's like watching Marcel Marceau. 2nd down and 10, and a quick pass over the middle of Forks, who's hit immediately and the ball comes out. It was El Shalom who dislodged it, and it's 3rd down and 10. So the down and distance situation isn't that favorable for Fulshear, but the good thing is the clock stopped on that incomplete pass. 44 seconds to go. Fulshear still has a timeout. Forks and West are on the field, so West ready to take the snap, and Forks is in the slot on the near side. Gonna give to Collins. Slant play running left. He's got 11 yards and a first down. That'll stop the clock for a moment. I guess it didn't quite get the first down yardage, so Fulshear has decided to take a timeout with 34 seconds left. We'll take it with him. 14-6. Let's the football to start the second half, but Fulshear wants more points, and West simply throws it away. And there might be an intentional grounding flag to come out, because I don't know that West was outside the tackle box. In fact, that is why Gary Godwin, our referee, just threw a flag down. It's going to be intentional grounding, which is a penalty to the spot of the foul and a loss of down. And I think that means we're going to see Fulshear take a knee to end the first half. Yeah, that's what I think we're going to see. Ball at the 37. I don't know, though. Stephen Hill, kind of a riverboat gambler type of offensive coach. And he might want to just let Mason West chunk it down the field. And some people say chuck. I say chunk. I think it's a Southern thing. All right, so will Fulshear just play it safe or try to get something here on 3rd and 21? They run it. And a flag comes in that's going to negate the play, and a helmet comes off of the running back, Myron Parkinson. I think that's Myron's first carry tonight. And pretty good run as he picked up. They picked up 13 yards, but there is a holding penalty called against Austin Chamberlain. So now the clock says 15 seconds to go, and I'm very reasonably certain that it is time to take a knee. Although Chamberlain, even it's not going to count in the stats, as the penalty nullifies that run that he just had, but it was pretty impressive, showing a good burst and picking up 13 yards. West tells Parkinson to get right behind me. We're running the pistol formation here. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Actually, now I see that Anthony Williams, Dekaney's head coach, is talking to one of the officials. The play clock says 25 seconds, and there are 15 seconds left in the first half, but I don't think Fulshear is going to do anything that would result in a stoppage of the clock. What is going on here? There's going to be a different place to spot the football. Okay, that makes sense. The Dekaney defense declines the penalty for offensive holding. So instead of a repeat of third down, we have fourth down and 14, and Fulshear at their own 44. But you know what? They're not in punt formation. By the way, Parkinson carried on the previous play and his helmet came off, but they didn't tell him that he had to leave the field for a play. But then they let the clock run, and you hear I hope you heard the siren. We're still wondering about our outside audio. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, you'll see the Dekaney band first, and then the Fulshear band. 14-6, Fulshear leads Dekaney after one long half due to the weather delay. Folks, I had to attend to a couple of things, and one of them was to determine how to say the last name of the best running back that Dekaney has, and it is Chizer, which is what I thought it would be. But I had to ask their coaches. And Fulshear kicking away because at the beginning of the game, Dekaney had won the toss and deferred, so they want to get the football here to start the third quarter as Dekaney trails 14-6. Roger Smith along with Mia Vigil, the silent partner inside the mother's, no, she's right here with me. And Mia, because of her brilliant technical mind, was able to figure out the audio problem. We started off halftime and we could not bring you the wonderful sound of the Fulshear band of director Andrew Lee, my good friend. Well, Mia figured it out. She can figure stuff out that I don't even understand it. It's like, you know, trying to explain nuclear fusion to an ant. Mia is now controlling the intercom speaker here inside our booth. All right, here we go. So Dekaney figuring out what they can do to tie this game up, if not take the lead. And on the first play, they run some razzle-dazzle. It's a reverse to Kenyon Shelby, but he gets buried in the backfield. Outstanding work by the Fulshear defense, which is played really coordinated coverage. Tife Waiwo made the tackle there. He was not fooled on that reverse. It ends up being a loss of 5. Second down and 15. We're on VYPE, LCISD.com. We are your broadcast home for LCISD sports. All 7 high schools, the entire district. We will not rest until everybody who lives within the LCISD attendance boundary is watching our broadcasts. Up the middle, Chizer hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. absolutely bent, folded, and stapled by Oscar Perez. The Fulshear defensive starters, nose guard Nicolas Hernandez, their defensive ends, Tife Taiwo and Diego Ojajuni are the defensive ends. The linebackers, there are 4 in the 3-4 setup. Mohamed Darwish, Blake Box, Oscar Perez, and Caden Dickey. The safeties, Liam Clay and Daquan Quinn. And the cornerbacks, Jackson Drain and Faziel Arosai. 3rd down and 15. Pineda in the spread formation, drops straight back. Here comes the rush. Throws, and it is incomplete. Nobody there. The 2 closest players to the football were Fulshear's Daquan Quinn, as well as number 0, who I haven't been able to identify. He's not on the roster. You know, next time we have a timeout, I'm going to run down the hall and say, who's number 0? I could ask the Dekaney coaches who's number 35. He's punting right now. It's the best punt he's had tonight, and it gets a really good roll all the way down to the Fulshear 41. 39-yard punt with no return by the punter with no name. Everything good, Mia? She's over there just doing all kinds of stuff. She's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, you know. Scoreboard stuff, okay. Well, I guess it's easier to do the scoreboard on football than it is volleyball. I mean, volleyball is just bang, 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 point after point after point. All right. Pistol formation, and it's Mason West handing off, and running right is Parkinson. Slips through for a pickup of 2 yards. Getting up off the ground last, the man who brought him down, Javian Bedford. He is kind of like a fire hydrant in there. Very tough to move, 6'1", 255-pound junior. And give Parkinson 3 yards on that carry. I'm afraid that, Collins, he went off the field with an injury and he has not returned. There goes Parkinson, and he thought he found a little crease in the middle, but he was pushed back violently. El Shalom said shalom, shalom. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. It's a one-score game. 14-6, Fulshear on top of Dekaney. Tomorrow night, we will have Foster taking on the Travis Tigers out of Fort Bend ISD. And Mia, I'm going to double check on that kickoff time, but I assume now that it's going to be 6:30 since tonight's game was at 6:30. Short pump and now a throwaway. Mason West couldn't find what he wanted. Trey Cluis was not open, and West really couldn't set his feet to make the throw, so he just threw it away, and it's a 3 and out. The first 2 possessions in the first quarter for Fulshear resulted in 3 plays and a punt. And then we had the long weather delay, and they had a chance to talk some things over, and looks like they had sorted them out, but that was not a very good series. And now I had mentioned Collins. Jalen Collins is back on the field. In fact, he is one of the gunners who's going to run down the field and try to prevent a punt return. Alejandro Quinones ready to punt. And back there to get it, Kenyon Shelby. Correction, not Kenyon Shelby, Trey Price. And there it is, a 40-yard punt in the air. Good job by Quinones. Fair caught by Trey Price, and here we go. Dekaney, their second possession of this third quarter. And now we got a penalty flag.
Number 30 of the offense. That penalty will be force for the post kick enforcement spot. 10-yard penalty.
Okay, that's our referee, Gary Godwin, and he tells us that Dekaney will accept the holding penalty, but they'll simply improve their field position. So instead of the 27-yard line, instead of the 22-yard line, rather, they'll have it at the 27. So tomorrow night, video stream football from right here at Shearer Stadium. Foster and Travis, and then on Saturday night, web radio with the Tomas Gators playing their first ever varsity football game, taking on George Ranch. Now, one thing that is interesting when the UIL realigns, it often is the determining factor when a new school that has a team, they have a student body where the oldest classification is juniors. Sometimes those teams, like Fort Bend Crawford did, will go ahead and start playing varsity football against teams that have seniors when all they have is juniors. Okay, referee Gary Godwin now says that they can't add 5 to the end of a run when it's something like that, or either they can't do it that way, or Dekaney has decided that they would rather Fulshear punt it again from 5 yards further back. So anyway, you have the Tomas Gators, and they had juniors on their football team last year, but no seniors. They decided to play a JV schedule. And so tomorrow night's, Saturday night's game against George Ranch will be their first ever varsity football game. Okay, so here we go. They sorted all those things out, and from the 36-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Quinones gets the punt away cleanly, and it's a good thing that he did. From the 25-yard line, a nice return. Trey Price almost gets it back into Fulshear territory.
Coach Sterling pushing the player out of bounds.
39-yard punt and a return of over 15 yards. So Dekaney has it, good field position at their 44. This is Paul Shearer Memorial Stadium. And it's been tough and tight throughout. The defenses have really carried the evening. There's a jet sweep running to the left, Craig Jones. Trying to get to the edge, he does pick up about 5. And then a nice gang tackle on the part of the Fulshear defense. Liam Clay leading the way. By the way, Dave Campbell's Texas Football predicts that Fulshear will just miss the playoffs in this new District 23 6A that is certainly tougher than the district they had been in for the last 2 years. But according to the Football Bible periodical of Texas football, they say that Cy Ranch, Bridgeland, Waller, and Cy Springs will be the playoff qualifiers, and that Fulshear will be on the outside looking in. A jet sweep coming to the near side works pretty well for Dekaney. Lucas Anquan carrying and taking it all the way to the 41. That is another first down. 7:45 to go in the third quarter, and the clock continuing to tick. And you kind of wonder, let's say Dekaney can get a touchdown out of this drive. Would they go ahead and go for 2 and try to tie it? Fake to Anquan. Pineda is drilled. Oh, he had his head taken off. Diego Ojajuni blew him up. And that's a big play for the Fulshear defense. And now it is 2nd down and 19 from the 49 of the Chargers.
That'll put the Wildcats about just over the 50-yard line.
If you're wondering why it's 9:49 p.m. and we haven't finished the third quarter, it's because we had a lightning delay of over an hour after we started this game at 6:30 p.m. And boy, was it hot. Pineda looks left. He's pressured. He gets it away. And he's got a completion to Chiser. His running back is inside the 30 and still going all the way to the 26. Liam Clay upended him, but that is a big play after the sack. And that keeps the drive alive, and the clock now at 6:20 and ticking. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes they will stop the clock when the chains move, and sometimes they don't stop it at all.
Ball out to the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
If you haven't been to Shearer Stadium, it is really very similar to Traylor Stadium. The whole configuration, the track, all that. Pineda throwing again, gets out of his hand quickly and gets a completion to the 22. And he finds Craig Jones, a guy who's really getting involved in the offense in this third quarter. But that's only a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6. Tuesday night volleyball comes your way every Tuesday night, and the matches are usually scheduled to start at 5:30, but they typically start at 6 or 6:30. So we'll just turn on our camera and we'll let you look at the court while the JV match is going on, and then we'll start when we're ready. 2nd down and 6, Pineda. Pocket collapsing, but he gets free and gets down to the 24. It ends up being a sack. He did lose a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and 7.
And on that stop is Blake Boombox.
Blake Box, whose mom, Suzanne, is one of the board trustees of LCISD. And I was able to see Blake Box's grandparents, who I presume, I guess, are Suzanne's in-laws. They got here earlier than anyone else, and they found a nice shady spot. All right, 3rd down and 7. This is a big play. Pineda looking both ways. Hands it off in the jet sweep. And there's another big play in the backfield. Diego Ojajuni brought down Craig Jones.
Into the backfield once again.
And now it's going to be 4th and long. Probably too far out for a field goal for the Dekaney kicker. 4th and 10, and they're going to go for it. Probably the only thing to do. You're too close to punt, too far away to try and get 3 out of it. That Fulshear defense, it's a very warm evening, and it's been a long evening where the sun was shining brightly when we got started. And here we go. They need to get off the field on this play right here. Pineda's throw is a back shoulder throw, and his receiver fell down, but the pass wasn't on target anyway. Intended for Kenyon Shelby. Excellent work in the secondary, especially Faisal Arosai. Liam Clay was over there as well. So here we go. Fulshear turns back Dekaney to keep the lead at 14-6. We've got 4:06 to go in the quarter. And Mason West is going to be taking the snaps. 4 receiver set, no tight end. West throws over the middle into traffic, and the ball falls incomplete, and I think he was fortunate. The intended receiver was Trey Cluis. Mia, at the next timeout, you can run a couple of spots, probably at the end of the quarter. And I'm going to go figure out who number 0 is for Fulshear. I might do it right now. How about that? I'm going to run down there and check. We'll be right back, 14-6. Sorry that commercial ran a little bit long and something bad happened for the Chargers. An interception from Dekaney's Michael Tellison, and he brought the ball all the way back to the 24-yard line. So after the Fulshear defense did a heck of a job, got off the field, got the ball back for their offense, a long pass by Mason West. He kind of hung it up there a little bit too long, and it was fairly easy pickings. And now all of a sudden, we got a problem. We have a developing situation is what we have. But you know what I found out? I know who number 0 is now for Fulshear. Jax Drain. He's the little brother of the great Jerome Drain. Chiser is in the, I guess, a Wildcat formation, but they don't get the playoff. Here's premature movement, and therefore, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. All right. Second down and 15 for Dekaney, trailing 14-6, 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Pineda under center, gives it to Chiser, breaks the first tackle, and he's sandwiched as he makes his way down to the 25-yard line. Jax Drain in on the tackle. So was Matthew Nuebo. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out all night who number 0 is. He's, the original roster said he was supposed to be number 9, like his brother Jerome Drain. But Jax, Jaxon, Jackson, not Jackson. I mispronounced it, sorry. Jax is 0. I formation on third down and 11. Toss sweep, there goes Chiser. He is shifty. He fights down to the 16-yard line. And a little jawing back and forth. That was Liam Clay that he ran into. But Clay did stop him 2 yards short of the first down. It's 3rd and 2. And this Fulshear defense has spent a lot of time on the field. Not just in the first quarter, but in this third quarter. And we have a timeout taken by Dekaney. We'll take it with him. We'll be back on VYPELCISD.com. The outcome still very much in doubt. Brought to you by Texan Hyundai, as well as the Air Specialist, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, C&D Scrap Metal, Republic Harley Davidson of Stafford, and the volleyball school. Pineda under center. He's running the bootleg. He's looking. He's throwing. And it's incomplete. He had a couple of receivers that were marginally open down there, but the incomplete pass means now we have a 4th and 2 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Although maybe Dekaney is about to try a field goal. They appear to be lining up to do just that. And during the next commercial break, I'm going down to the Dekaney coach's booth and ask him who 35 is. This is a 33-yard field goal attempt. Kenyon Shelby, quite an athlete, is holding. They might fake it. Watch out. The kick is on the way. The kick looks pretty good. And it is good. Our new score is 14-9. Wow, you are fast. Me is amazing. We'll take a break and be back. 2:06 to go in the third. Check out our banners. They all have the QR code for the Air Specialist. Capture that and get the best service you've ever had for your air conditioning and heating and ventilation systems. They are awesome. And they help bring you VYPELCISD.com. Well, it is Jose Mercado. He is the kicker for Dekaney. And what a beautiful kick that checks up inside the 5 And Fulshear is only going to be able to bring back the kick to the 12-yard line. So it is now a 5-point game, 14-9. Jose Mercado, a 33-yard field goal. Got to be careful here. The ball at the 13. Two running backs, and I believe Ryland Forks is taking the snap. He is. Keeps it. Runs it right. Gets the sideline. Long gain out to the 35. It is such a change of pace. Kind of like in a baseball game when you get a pitcher that throws a much different speed than the previous one. Whether it's a lot slower or a lot faster, it can be a tough adjustment for hitters to make and a tough adjustment for defenses to make. And the clock has stopped with the minute 51 because one of the players for Dekaney was injured and they're tending to him over on the far side. So let's take a break and be back. 14. I'm wondering if any of our fans out there, if you've been sneezing a lot. I'm not about to talk about a new sponsor like the rhinoplasty guy. As Ryland Forks hands it off up the middle to Parkinson, and he's stoned. No gain there whatsoever. I used the wrong term. Balloon sinuplasty. There's Dr. Kaplan. He does a lot of commercials. I'm not gonna tell you that he's our new sponsor, although it'd be great if he was. But I just don't hear anyone sneezing lately, yet I've been sneezing like the last 3 days. Not constantly, just enough to be a break in the routine. All right, after the no gain on the previous play, Forks ready to take the snap. Fakes to Collins, runs left, gets buried. Oh wow, he was ganged up on. It's Javian Bedford along with El Shalom. And now Mason West is going to come in on what's an obvious passing down, third down, and a long 17 coming up. There's 33 seconds left in the third quarter, but the play clock has less time on it than that, so Fulshear has to run another play. By the way, just in case you'll need to know later on, each team with 2 timeouts. Play clock at 2. 1. West drops back, good protection, throws it, and he's got Trey Cluess near the 42-yard line. It's a good play, but not enough for the first down, and that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. We got a good one going, 14-9. We'll be back on your broadcast home for LCISD Sports. And it is a keeper by Forks. He is loose across midfield. It takes about 4 Dekaney Wildcats to bring him down at the 41-yard line. And they bring out the whinnying Charger, the fiery steed. You know, one of the hardest things to impersonate when you're a human is a horse. It's really hard. So Mason West back in. Forks still on the field. He's the split receiver on the far side. First minute of the fourth quarter. And encroachment of the highest order by Dekaney as El Shalom trying to time a good blitz, but he jumped the gun. A couple of years ago, Fulshear won its first First game of the season, they went to Pearland, and I believe the score was something like this. It was 14-10 or 13-9. Real close game, just like this one. There goes Parkinson running right. And he is ushered out of bounds rudely. Trey Price and Kason Hurd. So after the big run by Forks, got them all the way down to the 42. I want to make sure this drive doesn't stall out. It's now 2nd down and 6. Mason West looking at the defense, might be changing the play. Has Collins to his right. Hands it to Collins. He can't get out of the backfield. Tylen Chevalier smothered him. Chevalier scoring the only touchdown of the night for Dekaney. And he caught a 25-yard pass from Pineda that made it 6-0 with 3.5 minutes to go in the first, and it stayed that way through the long weather delay until with 7:05 to go in the second, Forks ran one in from 9 yards out. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Fake to Collins. West looking, and he throws it, and it is caught at the 10-yard line. Oh, what a dandy catch. Austin Bush, who has thrown a touchdown pass tonight on a razzle-dazzle play, and a flag comes in. I think his face mask was grasped on the way down, or it might have been defensive pass interference, but it didn't matter. He caught the ball anyway. Gary Godwin, the referee, talking it over with 2 of his crew. All right, so the result of the play is a catch. Great concentration on Austin Bush's part. And he split way out wide to the left, and it is Ryland Forks to take the snap. Gives it to Collins, weaving his way through heavy traffic, gets inside the 10, not much farther. 9:20 to go in the game, and by the time Fulshear snaps it again, it'll be well under 9 minutes. They have a 2nd down and 8 coming up. Before the game on the Air Specialist Countdown to Kickoff show, Coach Stephen Hill said he was expecting to use 3 different quarterbacks, but so far it's just been Mason West and Ryland Forks. Clock at 8:41 and ticking in regulation time. We got a flag down, and Forks is stopped for a loss. The quarterback draw didn't fool the Wildcats on that snap. Michael Tellison put the clamps on the play. We'll see what the penalty is.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
All right, that offside penalty is a big help to the Chargers.
All right, Chargers fans.
It is not a goal-to-go situation, though. It's 2nd down and 3.
And 3.
Trey Cluess is locked up in single coverage with Trey Price on the near side, near the pylon. Forks gives it to Collins, sprinting left, fighting. Did he get in? No, he came up short. He's inside the 1, but he's short, and I think I might have seen a penalty flag come in.
Jalen Collins On the carry, just short of the goal line. This will be first and goal for the Chargers.
Okay, well, some yellow fabric did come down on the nice new field turf here at Shearer Stadium, but it's not a penalty flag.
Didn't see that flag.
Oh, yeah, there was a flag after all. I should have trusted my eyes. Sure enough. Costly penalty. Well, I never saw Gary Godwin, the official, make a call. I suppose it was holding, maybe? Anyway, it's second down and 13. Probably offensive holding, a 10-yard penalty. Here goes Cluess in motion. They flip it to him on the jet sweep. He gets around one tackler, heading for the sideline, and he gets blasted right as he goes out. Got some heavy contact going on out there, but all clean. It was Michael Tellison. You know, he may have gotten just as much punishment out of that as Cluess. It looked like Cluess had gotten a decent gain, but he only gained one, so it's third down and 11. And it's Mason West getting rid of the football. He throws incomplete. He was really hit hard before he could even cock his arm back. Wow, that was a great, perfectly timed blitz. Elijah LeBlanc just blew him up. And now it's time for Fulshear to try a field goal. Alejandro Quinones out of the hold of we don't know who, number 11. This will be a 29-yarder. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Fulshear extends its lead back to 5 points, 17-12 with 7:38 to go on VYPELCISD.com. All right, it is second down and goal at the 2. Forks keeping it, going up the middle. And he's got determined effort, and he gets in! Ryland Forks from 2 yards out has put Fulshear up 20-9.
Great job by
7 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Quinones comes on. He had kicked a field goal, but there was a penalty on the play. Fulshear kept the ball. That gave them a goal-to-go situation. And with a score 20-9 and they're leading by 11, it looks like they're thinking about going for 2. No, they're going to kick it. They're just checking out Forks. He might be cramping up a little bit. He'll be okay. He's skipping off. And it is Quinones. The kick is up and good. 21-9. Fulshear gets a 2-score advantage. We shall return. So now Dekaney's going to need to get a little more urgent when it comes to play calling and move the ball down the field quickly. They need 2 scores and one of them has to be a touchdown. Well, I guess now that I think about it, I might not be a smart man, but I just realized something. And that is that they need 2 touchdowns. They're down by 12. So a touchdown and a field goal ain't gonna cut it. Pineda dropping back, far sideline, and it is just beyond the outstretched hands of Kenyon Shelby. In fact, he looked for a moment like he was going to pull it in. Fulshear swapping out some of their big, beefy defensive linemen. Nicholas Hernandez comes off and Lyndon Wynn comes on for him. Got to hydrate big time on a night like this. Hopefully tomorrow night will be just as exciting as Foster takes on Travis Tigers. Second and 10 from the 31, and it's a loss of a yard. Diego Ojajuni got in the backfield again. And he dropped Chiser like a sack of rocks. You know, a sack of sand would actually be more, I don't know, more like the ball carrier was helpless. We're under 6.5 minutes to go and the clock is running. Dekaney has 2 timeouts. And I guess they don't have a no-huddle offense. But they're down 21-9. And now we got premature movement. There's going to be a false start. By the way, Mia, I was looking at a replay of a game that was broadcasted. It's very similar to the way we do things. Last year involving Frisco Lone Star, and the person that operated the clock can't do what you can do. He couldn't do it. You can do it. You know, he would just put a time up there and it would stay stationary, and 2 or 3 minutes later he'd update it. But you got it kind of synced. It's pretty cool. I'm amazed by you. 5:43 to go. Dropping back, Pineda throwing off his back foot. And the pass comes down incomplete. Open for just a nanosecond was Kenyon Shelby, but he got blown up by Liam Clay. Liam Clay likes to hit people. And it is 4th and 15. And Dekaney not going to go for it. So assuming they're not going to throw it, fake it, do whatever to try and get the first down, Fulshear just needs to catch this punt or not muff it. Way back goes Cluis. He follows it all the way back to the 18-yard line. And he's a real water bug. Look out. But he is upended after a return of about 5 yards. I think that was Dekaney Allen. But I think Lewis had in his mind kind of some of those legendary Deshaun Jackson punt returns for the Eagles, maybe about the time that Trey was born, maybe even longer ago than that. But he got knocked out at the 24-yard line. And the only need for Fulshear right now is protect the football. And it looks like they're putting in a fresh running back that we hadn't seen so far tonight. Carter Morrison, number 20. Mason West in the gun. Hands it off to the new guy. No, he kept it. West kept it. He's in the open. He may go. 40-yard line. It's a foot race. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. And it's Collins. Collins took the direct snap and took it to the house. 76 yards. And that will be more than the Dekaney Wildcats can overcome tonight. The extra point kick by Quinones is good. 5:07 to go. All right, so the mystery man who holds for the place kicks is Tevin Lannis. Fulshear good coverage on the pop-up kick. Tevin Lannis. You know, when I go with pronunciations, sometimes the best method is rhymes with, but I don't. Oh, the guy that plays basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis. Lannis rhymes with Giannis. Okay, so Fulshear's defense just needs to play 5 minutes of good hard defense. Little stop route, going to be good for a first down catch. Lucas Anquan took in the pass from Pineda, carried the ball to the 45. Empty backfield, 5 receiver set. Pineda, here comes the rush. Hit as he throws, and the ball falls incomplete. Good coverage down there, and got to watch out. Don't want to get a taunting penalty. Jalen Sawyer was down there with Kenyon Shelby. 50-50 ball, and the ball fell harmlessly to the turf. 4:41 left in the game. By the way, I want to say a little shout out to a good friend of mine, a kid named Jeffrey Dunham. He had eye surgery after a freak accident involving one of those boogie boards that you ride on the waves. And he's had several procedures, and thankfully it looks like his left eye is going to be just fine. So good for you, Jeffrey. By the way, that pass is caught for another first down. About an 11-yard pickup, and we're under 4.5 minutes to go. Actually, 4:32. Now we're under 4.5 minutes. You just had to move the sticks and then restart the clock. 5 receivers setting in. Pineda throws it down outside the numbers, and he's got his man, and he's got a touchdown. Dekaney's not quitting. And he found Craig Jones. was a 45-yard pass. So it looks like Dekaney is going to go for 2 with 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. They've got Chargers in there at running back. Pistol formation. No, correction. It's an I formation. Pineda. Equidistant between the hashes. Chargers hit in the backfield. Can't get away from the Fulshear defense. Outstanding work. Just across the line. Trenton Jones gets. So, I imagine just about everybody in this stadium. You got students and parents of students thinking, we got school tomorrow. But Mia doesn't have school tomorrow. Neither do I. Don't hate us. All right, would we see an onside kick here from Mercado? Nope. He blasts it away, and it's Parkinson inside the 5. Oh, correction, Collins. Collins, whose long touchdown run pretty much ended the competitive part of this game. And now Fulshear just needs to run out the clock, but 4 minutes to go. Dekaney not giving in. I don't think we're going to see them put the ball in the air here.
1st and 10 for the Chargers.
Ground and pound. And coming into the game in the late going and making a good impact, Carter Morrison. And now we're going to see yet another running back. I don't know if he'll get the football in his hands, but Samaje Brown is there. Maybe he's going to play H-back. For those of you in Rio Linda, H-back basically means you're playing tight end, but you move back off the line of scrimmage a little bit. Just a little bit wide of the tackle, more often than not, sometimes right behind the tackle. That was a 7-yard pickup, and on 2nd and 3, they go inside, and it's only a 1-yard gain, if that. Carter Morrison carrying again.
Timeout. Defense.
Timeout taken by Dekaney.
No gain on the play.
We'll be back after I'm Dr. Emmett Brown in Back to the Future, when he almost forgets that the DeLorean is going to, jump forward in time. He says, "Whoo!" and he steps out of the way. The movie would have been very short if he'd been hit. Quarterback keeper and a first down for Fulshear. Inside that scrum is Ryland Forks, and just in case the Dekaney players don't know it, he's signaling, "Hey, I got a first down." So you can shove me backwards all you want.
And that's another Chargers first down.
3 minutes to go. I'm really amazed at the way you do the clock. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I guess they have an app for that, right? Now you're synced up again. Amazing. From the 33, 1st and 10, Carter Morrison getting a lot of carries here in the late going. And we got another Dekaney timeout. Let's stay right here. Might get a chance to listen to the Fulshear band kind of play through those quiet times. Well, now they stopped. That's just the way it goes sometimes. It's kind of like, you know, if you nowadays it really doesn't matter because we don't have landline phones anymore, but it used to be that, you know, a family has a baby. The child is growing up, the kid is so cute, and maybe grandma and grandpa are on the phone and they say, talk to grandma and grandpa. And the kid just stands there and, like a stone, doesn't say a word. As soon as you hang up the phone, hello, hello. And so it goes. 2nd down and 9, 2:28 to go. Dekaney is out of timeouts. Bunch formation. There goes Carter Morrison coming to the near side. Needs to stay in bounds. He's trying to do just that. Dekaney players trying to throw him out, but Morrison did sufficiently get at least part of one butt cheek down inside the boundary. Therefore, the clock continues to run, and we're going to have a 2-minute timeout. And it's a good thing we didn't take a break before, because now we need to. Back with a little more football for you. Quarterback keeper. 2 arms wrapped around the football. Somewhere inside that scrum is Ryland Forks, I believe. By the way, it's been an exciting game. More exciting than, say, well, I guess it depends on who you are, but more exciting than book club for most of the people who are here. Minute and a half to go. Dekaney can't stop the clock. It's 4th and 1 for the Chargers. And with a 13-point lead, they'll probably just wait and take a delay of game penalty. Or I think Ryland Forks is about to tell referee Gary Godwin that he wants a timeout right now. We'll stay here.
Timeout. Offense. 3rd and final timeout at half.
Fulshear fans, next Saturday night, your Week 2 game is at Fort Bend Bush, playing at Hall Stadium, and we'll have it for you on web radio. Remember, on Saturdays, we're web radio. On Tuesday night volleyball, Thursday football, and Friday football, we're video streamed, and it is always free. Pay-per-view? What pay-per-view? We don't do pay-per-view until they make us do that on another website in the postseason. We can't do anything about that. And it looks like it's time for the victory formation. Well, not exactly. 1:05 left. Snap it 2 more times, and Fulshear can count themselves victors in Week 1, and it's a 1st down run for Ryland Forks. See a lot of coaches and players on the Fulshear sideline clapping their hands. Success in Week 1. Something that Coach Stephen Hill was unable to do in Week 1 last year as Pearland defeated the Chargers. Now we got victory formation. Mason West takes a knee, and that's the last play that the Chargers will need to run. All right, we thank you for being so patient and sticking with us. We had a long weather delay in this one, but our final score, 28-15, Fulshear defeats Dekaney. So for Len DeSalvo inside the mothership at Fife World Headquarters, for Mia V. Hill, who is right here, the silent partner, I'm Roger Smith, and of course Suna Venkat. We couldn't do this without her. She's amazing. If anybody is more amazing than Mia, it would be Suna, if, you know. Good night from Shearer Stadium, and we will talk to you tomorrow night when we bring you the game between Foster and Travis. Good night and God bless, and we'll let the Fulshear band play you out.